So, Jim, you're going to search for a song that you want me to hear.
God, you need good eyes to see that.
That I've never heard before.
Yes, indeed. So, it's my turn this week to play a song for James. And this is one that came up on my playlist, and I'd forgotten it even existed, and I thought, that's an interesting song. So I'm gonna play that.
You're going to type it into YouTube right now.
Now my mind has just gone blank. What the hell is it called? Hang on, it'll come to me. Right. God, that was lucky.
So we switched seats. Normally, like I'm sitting in.
We have switched. We have.
This is so I can't see the screen.
Yeah.
Because the screen's behind me now.
Okay, so I'm gonna press play, and I hope it's gonna be loud enough. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, it's coming on now.
Mr. Apollo upward trees with his bare hands. I have seen Mr. Apollo body building plan. He's the strongest man the world has ever seen. And if you take his courses, he'll make you big and rough.
And you can beat up bullies till they cry, oh no, oh crikey, let go you rotter, don't punish me.
When you're tough, you're very fit, your voice is gruff, it sounds like grit, you are so strong and proud of it, thanks to Mr. Apollo. Follow Mr. Apollo. Everybody knows he's the greatest benefactor of mankind. Follow Mr. Apollo. Everybody knows that a healthy body makes a healthy mind. Take his courses, he'll make you big and rough.
You can kick the sand right back in their faces. Kick!
When you're tough, you're very fit, your voice is gruff, it sounds like grit, you are so strong and proud of it, thanks to Mr. Apollo. Follow Mr. Apollo. Everybody knows he's the greatest benefactor of mankind. Follow Mr. Apollo. Everybody knows that a healthy body makes a healthy mind.
Just give me 10 years of your life, and I'll trade in that puny flab for living muscle. The physique you deserve. Strong. Huge husky shoulders to hold your shirt. 5 years ago I was a 4-stone apology. Today I am 2 separate gorillas. No tiresome exercises, no tricks, no unpleasant bending. Wrestle poodles and win. Play beach ball, shave your legs, knock over walls, tease people, brush them aside as though they were vegetables.
So there we go. That was the Bonzo Dog Band, and the song is called Mr. Apollo.
Yes, I got the name of the song.
1969 it came out.
I love that, Jim.
It's cool. They're actually a really good band.
It's very funny.
Yeah.
Like the greatest actor of all time. This guy. Was that the story? And he was the strongest man in the world.
I think it's the greatest benefactor of mankind. So it's basically, from what I can gather, he is a guy that's devised like a bodybuilding plan that if you follow it, because it says, 10 years ago I was a 4-stone apology, today I am 2 separate gorillas, it says at the end. And they're kind of mocking it. They're like, oh, and you can beat up bullies till they drop. And
wrestle a poodle.
You can wrestle a poodle. They're saying, follow Mr. Apollo. Everybody knows he's the greatest benefactor of mankind. It's kind of like
It's kind of like a piss take.
Yeah.
But it's a fun song.
It's a really fun song.
I loved it at the beginning when that solo kicked in a little bit. There were a few solos kicking in.
Yeah.
And then it went to this like real jolly, kind of like scary.
Like Monty Python-ish, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I thought you could hear some early David Bowie in that, actually, from listening to some of his stuff. And I didn't know, but they also did that song, I can't think what it's called, but do you remember that, I Predict a Riot?
Yeah, by Kaiser Chiefs.
They did that as well.
They did the original.
Yes. Me and my mate didn't know, we were like, no way, because it was my uncle that said put this song on once, and we did, and then one of their songs was that. We said it can't be that, and it was.
I can't believe it, Jim. That's one of those songs. It's happened again. It's a modern song. That came out in 2010 or something. Kaiser Chiefs. I Predict a Riot.
Yeah.
Even before then, 2007, and it's a remake.
It's remake.
Another remake.
It was
every
the Bonzo
song
Dog
that
Band,
I hear,
baby.
Every song that I hear, Jim, it's a remake.
Yes.
And it's always surprising, and it drives me mad a little bit.
And so I heard that and I thought, yes, I'm going to play that for James because I know he'll appreciate the creativity and weirdness to that song. Just,
that I could listen to that song more than that. Like it could be part of my regular.
I think that was a rip from a 45 LP actually on YouTube. But I think they'd be worth getting into, that band. Cool stuff.
How did you think that I was going to like that?
I imagined you responding pretty much the way you did. Partly because we both like weightlifting and we both like music, and it was kind of just, it related to us in ways, and there was a bit of silliness to it, and not taking life too seriously as well. And it just felt like the right song to play for the first time.
It does say, it's got a few of those factors, doesn't it? Like they say, the silliness, the kind of the chorus solo, the jolliness, the uplifting. It's not a serious song at all.
No.
It's just having a bit of fun.
It starts off serious, like that guitar riff, but then it's almost like Monty Python.
But it goes back to, later on in the song, maybe like 3 minutes in, it goes back to that heavy bit again. Yeah. And a bit more solo came in, and I was like, I'm really glad they went back to that riff. Yeah. And then they jollied it up again.
Yeah. Yeah, the Bonzo Dog Band. So,
it's hard to do that in a song, I think. To put sort of like some good riffs, followed by some scary, just sort of like messing around, jumpy kind of beat.
Yeah.
And then, again, and keep the lyrics and everything.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was awesome.
Be good to read the lyrics. I remember hearing years ago, my mate Nick, and he was singing Follow Mr. Apollo, and I was thinking, what the hell is he on about? And then when I heard this, I thought that's what he was singing. Because I've got him on video doing it, actually, but Mr. Apollo, that's what he was singing.
I liked it, man. Who did you say the band was called?
The Bonzo Dog Band.
See, I thought it was someone that I heard before. When I first started, I thought it was Iggy Pop.
Yeah, it did sound a bit like that.
Only because of I can't remember the famous song of his. It's the only one that I really heard. But he's like, I'm a dog or something.
Okay.
He studies the lyrics.
Yeah.
And it just sounds like kind of trashy a little bit with the drums, just because it sounds like bad quality. But that's its appeal to me anyway.
Yes.
That Iggy Pop song. And that sounded a bit like it when it started off. It's the old-fashioned kind of recording sound.
Yeah.
But I love that.
Yeah.
Such a great sound, isn't it?
It is.
Because it's not perfect or crisp.
Sounds good on a sound system. See, I deliberately picked that version because there was a remastered version, but this was the rip directly from a 45 LP.
I really appreciate that. When I started to hear it, I was like, I appreciate that you've chosen
vinyl,
not like the remastered version, because like you said, it gets a bit too crisp, and you want to hear like the...
Which is good. I mean, remastered is always good, but I prefer sort of that old vinyl sound. It's deeper and richer, generally speaking. So when CDs came out, they were a lot clearer. But generally, I prefer that old sound. It just has, I don't know. if I'm listening to a song or I really look for a song that I like on YouTube, I'll always look for the vinyl rip. It sounds richer, I think. You do lose a bit of clarity, but...
Have you listened to many of these songs by this band?
No, that one and I Predict a Riot. That's it. But they'd probably be a quite fun band to get into.
What are they called again?
Bonzo Dog Band.
See, it's hard to remember. The Bonzo Dog Band.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was my uncle that... Actually, there's another one called Hunting Tigers in Africa, which is quite... I've just remembered it. But I wouldn't have known about it if it wasn't for my uncle. Because one night we were all having a night at my house, and I've got quite a good sound system. I wanted one because it's like one of the things I do to chill out. So we were all listening to it because it was new and I'd set it up. And my uncle said, "Oh, type in, the Bonzo Dog Band," and me and my mate were kind of like laughing, but I thought, nah, good stuff.
It is good.
Who would you know that listens to stuff like that?
Like I said, there's so many bands out there. Yeah, and this is just one of them that you come across.
Yeah.
But they must be famous.
Well,
must be popular. Presumably.
1969. And that is why I definitely hear some early David Bowie in that. Just that opening, you said it sounds trashy and raw. I can't think of the Bowie song. Could have been something like Starman or something like that. But you can often hear influences. I'm not saying copied, but you can hear influences in different bands. Even with... Who's the guy from the Arctic Monkeys?
Alex Turner.
I hear a lot of the Beatles in that album, And so does my dad. I said, "Tell me what this makes you think of," straight away. And he was like, "The Beatles." Straight away. Yeah.
I suppose that people...
It's kind of rubbed off on him.
Yeah, they show their influences.
And it's like, if sometimes when you listen to yourself talk, even to yourself, you think, "Oh, I just heard so-and-so from years ago, and that guy did have an influence on me." So I'm kind of like a mishmash of all kinds of different people that I've, been influenced by. And I think that's the same with music. It's bound to be,
Yeah. You're your own unique accumulation of different types of people and music.
It's like, even though you've got all the genes from your parents and all that, you are like a new, unique strain concoction.
Yeah, well, that's biologically,
Yeah.
But
it's the same principle with music. It's like hardly anything is just original. There's always an influence from something else in there, and it's kind of like carrying on and carrying on and carrying on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But everyone who's written a song has heard something else and unconsciously has been motivated by it, at least. So I think it's a similar process.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's this knock-on effect.
You'd have to get somebody, raise him from birth in a room with as little contact with the outside world as possible, and then see what music he would create. I bet it wouldn't be anything like that.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
What would it be?
That'd be a very unethical experiment. But
I know.
Wouldn't it be interesting?
Hypothetically.
Yes.
What would it be, Jim?
Yeah. I don't know.
What would they... It's impossible to know.
I think you'd have like the archetypes would be there, but they would be sort of raw and unformed, and God knows what form that would take. It would be so interesting to see, though. I don't know.
I wonder if they would there'd be like a beat, because of the heartbeat. So there'd be like the rhythm of the body would kind of, maybe like...
Oh, yeah.
Or something, or...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
and start from there and maybe go up and down a little bit, experiment with the voice.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Ali G did something like that once. He was talking to a doctor and he said, "Couldn't you put like a bass box or something in there with your heart and sort of jazz it up a bit?" And the doctor's thinking, this guy's a loon, because of course they didn't know he was like a joke. They thought he was serious, but he's like, "Get that heart going."
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
Yeah, but he'd be hearing that, and maybe that would inspire.
If you weren't influenced at all, that was the only sound that you would go off. You'd be such an organic person, untouched, be so pure.
Yeah,
in your mind.
Yeah, like a tribe or something where they played like, I don't know, some tribal music, but one's gonna remember it from his great grandma, and grandma kind of did that and taught me, and it's going on and on and on. So we'll never know. But God, it would be interesting. So
yeah, it is. It's fascinating to like think about, and
could do a whole nother episode on that.
Yeah,
I've often wondered what the dreams of people would be like that had no outside influence.
Let's talk about it another time, Jim. We're going to open that can.
No,
that world stuffed into a can.
We could create a second segment and just do that, but probably not a good idea.
Man, that was fun.
That was the second little episode of the new Echoes.
Yeah, the new Dolphin Yeah, Dolphin Echoes,
So-
the new podcast attached to Dolphin. But thank you for introducing me to that song, Jim.
You're very welcome.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
The Bonzo dog band, Mr. Apollo.
I have to go and buy their greatest hits in Fuse.